This week on the Full-Time Flippers Reselling Podcast.
My mother-in-law didn't have a dog, but we bought her one of those fake dog barking things that were motion sensors. So when somebody would walk up to the front of the house, it'd just like this huge, mean dog bark.
I think those sell too on eBay. I think those.
Yeah.
I might be off. Those might be a Nolo or a Bolo. I don't know.
Hi, I'm Chad the Quirky Picker. I'm a full-time reseller from Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Hi everyone, I'm Denis the Free King Flipper. I'm a full-time reseller from Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
I'm an everything seller, but I love to sell all kinds of electronics and anything unique and vintage.
I'm an everything seller as well, but I really enjoy finding and flipping our vintage toys, Sony Walkmans, vintage electronics.
Join us each week as we discuss life as a full-time reseller. We will share our experiences, both the good and the not so good.
Learn from our expertise and our mistakes.
From sourcing to listing to shipping,
Customer interactions, we will cover it all.
this is the Full-Time Flippers
Reselling Podcast.
Welcome to the Full-Time Flippers Reselling Podcast, episode 23. I am Chad the Quirky Picker, and I'm here with my co-host.
I am Denis the Free King Flipper.
Hey, Dennis. How's it
What's up?
going?
Very good.
Yeah. It's been a couple weeks since we last put out a podcast. It seems like the summer's so busy.
Yeah, it has been busy. I feel a little rusty.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of going through motions, and the weeks are like flying by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you have a good week?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was good. It's real solid. Some awesome, high quality sales. Bunch of smaller stuff going out, but normally I'll do like 10 or 12 items a day, and it has been like I only ship 3 days a week, and it's been like 38 to 45 items.
Wow.
So it's a lot going out. I'm clearing off some shelves, which is great. I love doing that, and some older stuff too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Midsummer, people just bored, I guess, already buying stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
Yeah.
why.
Well, last week on Thursday or Wednesday, I headed out to Ohio for the Route 127 yard sales. Now, last year I went to the Route 127 yard sales, and I met up with somebody. And that person's here today on the podcast with us. Welcome to the show, Jimmy, Old School Flips.
What's
Jimmy.
up, fellas?
Hey,
What's going on, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Not much. Just staying busy.
Yeah.
Just got back from the 127 myself.
Yeah, we can talk about that. But last year, I was watching a podcast, Reseller Clickbait, and Jimmy was one of the hosts of that show. And I had just found out, I just started watching it maybe a few weeks before that. I hadn't really tuned in. And they said they were going to be yard selling in Ohio for the 127. And I'm like, where are you guys going to be? And they were openly communicated, said they're going to be in Van Wert. And I said, well, I'll be in Bryan. I'll head south. You head north, and let's meet up for lunch. And they actually showed up. And that was like the first time I had met another reseller that, like, when you talk to the person, they knew exactly what you were talking about. We sat there in the restaurant for like 2 hours talking reselling. This is the first time. And I'm like, I want to do this all the time, or at least, I want to start a podcast so I can talk reselling. So you guys were the inspiration for me starting this podcast.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember that being a fun day. I remember having pancakes or something like that at the pancake house.
Yeah. So how was yard selling? I think you went to Kentucky. Is that right?
Yeah, I went to somewhere around Danville, Kentucky.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
How'd that compare to Ohio? Like quality of things you found?
it was about the same. The biggest thing that I think is similar is that you do go to a lot of overpriced or just bad sales. You're going to hit a bunch of those. But when I did hit, it was really good. I had probably 4 really good sales. One of the sales paid for the whole trip. The 1 yard sale,
Wow.
I'll probably clear $800 from the stuff I bought at that one sale.
What were the kind of things you found?
Tools for the I was saying tools for the win. I found. I don't know if you heard of this. Might be a bolo before we get to that, but have you heard of Blue Point?
Blue Point.
Blue Point is a low, just a little bit. It's a Snap-on owned company. It's just like a step below Snap-on. I found a whole wrench set, and then I found some work boots, and I found like a Mac Tools automotive scanner, all that. I paid $110 for a box full of stuff.
Wow.
And yeah, it's probably gonna clear $800 or so by the time it's all said and done.
Nice.
The guy was a mechanic that was just had his shed wide open. He was like, I'm getting older, I'm getting ready to retire. Open up the shed, and he's just selling everything right out of his shed. So it was cool.
Yeah. I mean, I am not finding, like, I love electronics, vintage electronics. And in the last month or so, I have hit a lot of yard sales, and I have found very few electronics. I don't know what the deal is, if it's just they all sold off in the spring, or what's going on. But I did find a DVD burner, VHS combo unit for the lady had it, and it was a Sony. It was pretty nice. In my mind, I'm calculating over $100, and she's like, I said, how much you want? She's like, well, make me an offer. And I said, well, I always like them to offer first. And she wasn't saying anything. She goes, maybe I'll just look it up. And I said, well, I'll give you $20.
Oh yeah. No.
If she looked, because I'm sure if she looked it up, it was going to be $50.
Yeah.
So it's really nice and clean. I haven't tested it yet, so there's always that chance it doesn't work right. But then I bought like a Sony radio. I bought a power inverter for an RV, like a 2,000 watt power inverter that hooks up to a battery.
Yeah.
For $20, and they sell for about $140. Bought some rainbow vacuum cleaner for $10.
Rainbow, the old rainbows.
Yeah.
My wife always wanted a rainbow.
Yeah.
I'm a terrible husband. She never got one.
Well, you can buy one now at pennies on the dollar.
Right.
I think my mom bought one originally for like $1,000 when a salesman showed up to her house one year. And she still uses it.
The old door-to-door sale.
Yeah. I had a friend who sold rainbows, and he was telling me, it's like, the markup was like, I don't know how many 100%, his commission. So he had a base price that he needed to get, and any dollar he got above that was just his to keep. So whenever he sold one, he had to turn in a certain amount of money. He just kept the rest. He's like, I'll sell you one for $1,000. I'm like, no, thanks. He's like, 800. No, 600. No, 500. I'm like, okay. So, and this was just, off the record. He wasn't at my house. We were just talking, but so I don't know what he had to turn in for one, what the cost was. Maybe if somebody knows, they can put it in the comments, but
no idea.
I don't know.
They were high markup.
Yeah.
We have.
Sorry. Go ahead, Dennis.
I was saying, I think the company that used to come around our neck of the woods was Kirby.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And they would knock, and they'd go through the whole thing, and then they'd come down like, well, you could have this for, monthly payments or blah, blah, blah. And my father's doing the math. It's like, it's a $1,200 vacuum. Yeah. Well, we can break it up. And
I've been there, man.
$100.
This is like in the late 80s. Like, no way.
When you think of the cost,
crazy.
I worked the night shift, and one day I just remember I was half asleep, trying to get my sleep, and I hear my wife out in the living room talking to somebody, and I hear a vacuum running, and I'm like waking up and half asleep, and I woke up to us being the proud new owners of I think it was a Kirby vacuum, and we still have that thing.
Yeah.
But it was funny because after the lady did her sales pitch, I woke up and I was getting ready for work, and then my wife basically reenacted the entire sales pitch to convince me why she bought the thing while I was sleeping. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
those were the days when the salesman could sell you anything. Now it's just like, I don't even want to answer the door if somebody knocks on my door. Got to screen them first. You got the Ring doorbell, so you can just say, I'm not home right now.
I got the Ring doorbell, so my dogs will hear the sound and they'll bark like crazy every time they hear it.
Yeah. My mother-in-law didn't have a dog, but we bought her one of those fake dog barking things that were motion sensors. So when somebody would walk up to the front of the house, it's just like this huge, mean dog bark.
I think those sell too on eBay. I think those.
Yeah.
I might be off. Those might be a Nolo or a Bolo. I don't know.
I bet they're a Bolo more than a Nolo. Yeah. Had a big old woofer on the bottom of it. It was literally a woofer.
And then
he's a woofer. Yeah. So
scaring the crap out of the neighborhood.
Right. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. This week, these aren't my my Bolos or Nolos, which we're going to be getting to here shortly, but I sold a couple things that were some of my past Bolos. Let me make sure. One thing I sold that, come on, is a lawnmower
Huh?
bag. Paid $1 for this at my neighbor's house. Sold it for $39.70.
Wow.
Nice.
And sold a computer monitor stand for $21.
Does that come with the hardware?
No, I don't think so. So those are past bolos that I've talked about and sold. I sold 2 monitor stands this week. Actually, that was just one of them. So yeah, listen to our podcast every week and you're going to learn what to buy, what not to buy. Let's do some viewer mail quick here, Dennis. Do you have any, each one of us shares at least one viewer comment. Do you have a viewer comment you want to share?
We have our first international comment. This one comes from Justin Little Adelaide. And he says, hello from Australia. So let's throw another shrimp on the barbie there, Justin. Thanks for watching.
That's a lovely accent you have there. New Jersey?
Austria.
My viewer mail comment comes from Den Decor Depot. He says, I put my store on time away and I'm completely shut out of any search on site. So a couple weeks ago, I talked about I put my store on vacation mode to go to the beach for 4 days and my sales tanked. It was the worst week I've had in over 2 years. Since I started going full time, it was my worst week ever. I had one day where I sold nothing. And so last week I went to the Route 127 yard sales. I just extended my shipping handling time by 1 day. And that would get me, to the following Monday when I got home. And I had a great week.
Nice.
So vacation mode kills. I'm never putting my store in vacation mode again. Even next week, I'm going to Maine for a full week and I'm just extending my handling time out and I'll deal with customers who aren't happy with the ship time as they come up. But
devil's advocate, I've done great on vacation away mode before.
Well, Dennis had a really bad time and I can't have that when I need each paycheck just to make the bills. And when my paycheck's cut into more than a third of what I normally make on eBay weekly, it was horrible.
I'm in the same boat. Mine pays my bills too, but I I'm not going to argue. I'm just saying I've had away mode and I've had no issue.
Yeah. Okay.
Sales
you didn't even really see a dip. No dip?
Not at all. No.
Okay.
What's your normal handling time?
1 day.
Oh, wow.
Wow. And that had no effect.
Nope. Not any more than any time away, changing because I used to, it affected it a little bit, but nothing drastic at all.
How many items do you have currently available?
1,500 listings.
So 1,500, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's where we're at.
I'm just over that. Yeah, we're like right on the 1,200 mark.
Yeah.
I do 2-day handling. But
I do 3.
As soon as I click that thing on, and like all these people came out and bought a whole bunch of stuff. Like the first day I had it on, and then all of a sudden just went bam, just dropped.
The one time I didn't make the mistake, the one time it was bad for me is when I mistakenly made my listings not visible. Yeah. And I didn't realize it until like 2 days in. I have no sales. What's happening? Yeah. And then I realized it's because I didn't leave my listings active because there's an option in there that you can select to where your store's hidden, basically. And I did that, and I did not realize I did that.
Yeah.
So if you are using away mode, make sure you don't do that.
Absolutely. That will kill you.
Yeah, that's gonna. Yeah, you're gonna go to 0 sales a day when you do that.
Yep.
That's why I'm never doing it again. I don't even want to make a mistake. Just extend the handling time as long as it takes to get me home.
Yep. And I got you.
Yeah. All right, moving on to BOLOs and NOLOs. One thing to be looking for and one thing that you wouldn't buy again. We'll have Dennis go first and then Jimmy.
All right.
Dennis, what you got?
Let me see here. Well, this is probably very well known, but I bring it up because I found and sold a lot of this in the last, 2 weeks. We haven't been here for a couple of weeks. Vintage Fisher Price from the 70s, late 70s, maybe even some early 80s. I found a bucket of them at a yard sale. And the lady's like, how much, what's your offer? I said, I don't know, $10. And she said, yeah, okay. So I had a ton of cars, none of these play sets, but tons of people, tons of like the little, furniture, cars. One of them had like the whole train set for the circus, and some of these motorcycles, some farm animals. I had that monkey. So I'm looking through and I had these like pretty rare clowns from like the circus.
Okay.
I don't know if I can find any in here, but one of them sold for $10. So like that pretty much just paid for everything in here.
Yeah.
I mean, even this dog, like they have this blue collar, $10.
I remember that. They're all wood, right?
The wooden ones are the older ones.
Okay.
And then they go to plastic. So
what are better?
These were all plastic. If you can find the wooden ones that aren't all chipped and faded and all that, they're definitely. Oh, this was in here. I don't know if you can see this little camper with the little Jeep and the little thing on there. That was in there. I'm missing. What am I missing out of that? I think I'm missing this red car. If that came with it, I'm not sure. But in any case, in fact, here's the rest of it right here.
Ooh.
So this was full up to the top with stuff. I took all the trains out of it, and the anything that went with the circus, I took that out and sold it. It was like $45. And then I did another one with just a whole bunch of people and furniture, and that was another $30. This one, here's that Jeep in here and the camper. So it's it's got the little boat. So I just I have to clean it up. Then there's a whole construction set in here too. So I like to look online and see what the sets are and try to complete the sets as much as possible.
Is that worth more money than parting it out?
Yeah, I wouldn't do like one individual thing at a time. Like I'm not going to do one person for $5. I'd rather do like maybe a family and a car, or the construction workers with the cars. Like the camper, I'll put that whole lot together and then put like a whole family of people and the dog. It definitely sells better. And then whatever you have left over, lot that whole thing up. Vehicles, furniture, people, and just let it fly. But I like to complete the sets as much as I possibly can.
The good thing about those is, for all you Goodwill bins shoppers, there's some you can find in the bins pretty regularly. I actually, when I find them, I have a little tote at home. So when I put them in my bag when I'm leaving the bins, and then when I get home, I just throw them all in the tote. So I make a nice little lot, and then I'll put the lot together on eBay.
That's awesome.
And you're paying pennies for them by weight.
Right. Yeah. I've had some Fisher Price stuff in the past that when I've comped it, I just didn't see enough meat on the bone. So I guess you got to get them pretty cheap in order to make a profit on those. They don't sell for a lot.
You're looking for that big Ziploc bag full of them for a couple bucks. That's when you're doing good.
Yeah. Or if they don't know what they have and they're just letting everything fly, they got the castle, the house, the school, the barn. So, and then condition it does matter. I've seen some and I've passed over like the playhouse that folds open and the cardboard base is like all just gross and mildewy and the plastic's all faded out. Yeah. Don't be picking those up.
Mildewy is a technical term.
Yes. Very scientific. You knew what I was saying.
Yes, I did.
So you've seen that condition.
I have.
Yep. It's pretty gross.
Do they sell sticker reproduction kits for like Fisher Price toys?
Oh, they do.
Yeah. What's your one I just saw? Oh, you remember the old garage, and you'd have the cars drive up the ramp and they could park, and then the little elevator that would bring them down. Yeah. You can get that whole kit. Yep. And they crank it and the little car goes to the top and then it can come down. You can get the whole sticker kit for that. Wow. They sell it. I mean, it's not from Fisher Price, but
Some might take the value up, or help sell.
I mean, it's only original once, right?
Right.
So an original one that's pretty mint versus one that you've restored, I would imagine there's a difference in price there. But
yeah.
depends. Is it an adult like me that wants toys that I had when I was a kid, or is it adult like me that wants toys that I have for like my kid? So I think that'd be the difference. A collector versus someone that's going to let their kid play with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just sell them.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
All right. Mine is something I've never found, but I was inspired to think about it because when I was in Kentucky, I was in a barn and I found some FFA t-shirts, Future Farmers of America t-shirts, right?
Oh, cool.
And so I asked the lady, hey, do you have one of these? And if you want to share my screen. So you always ask if they got the jackets, right? I don't know if you guys know, Future Farmer of America corduroy jackets sell pretty well, but this is the one I asked specifically for it. I asked, do you have a white version of the FFA Future Farmers of America jacket? Wow. It's called a Sweetheart jacket. It's a white corduroy Future Farmers of America jacket. And she said, I think I have a jacket. I don't remember. She wasn't sure if it was white or blue, but she said she thought she had a jacket. We ended up not finding any jackets, but it reminded me of this bolo. But apparently, like in the 60s and 70s, they would award this to like almost like a homecoming queen type thing, but it was for the FFA. It was called this, and they would award this Sweetheart jacket to like the girl that it was for the female that would win, like, and the almost like the homecoming. I can't describe it exactly, but so they were not a lot of them were given out, and only one girl got them. One female member got them, and so they're really hard to find, really rare. But if you can find them, they are worth a lot of money.
Wow. And
sometimes, obviously the top one right here is not personalized, so that really added some value. It doesn't have their name on it. A lot of them though, they will be like personalized with like the person's name stitched in them, so that lowers the value a little bit, but still you can see. Yeah. And then even like the corduroy FFA jackets still sell really well, so they sell well, just not quite as good. So it just kind of reminded me, I've never found one, but once I saw those t-shirts, I asked, and unfortunately she didn't have one, but it just reminded me of how to make sure you ask if you start seeing stuff like that. Ask for the FFA jacket, corduroy jacket.
Nice. Wow. I've never found one.
No,
but I've never really been looking for them, really. But I don't remember seeing any.
I should ask my brother. My brother was in the FFA and he had a jacket. I wonder if he still has it. I should ask him.
Let's go back in our time machine and
$20 for it.
15. All right. All right. So that's I have another bowler. We want to do that real quick or no?
Okay.
Want to do another one? Can I do another one? Am I allowed? Am I allowed to?
Yeah.
No, one per person. One.
All right.
We're gonna charge you extra. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Check these out. I just recently sold a wooden puzzle. Liberty wooden jigsaw puzzles.
Very cool.
One time at a thrift store, they brought out a cart and there were 9 of these on the cart.
Oh my gosh.
And I saw them come out and I followed her around and she put them on the shelf and they were $3 a piece. So I bought them all.
Oh. These are used too.
What's that?
They're used. They're not even new.
Yep. Oh, wow. They're so, like, you can see they usually have really cool designs. The individual pieces are not normal jigsaw puzzle shapes. They'll be like, one of the pieces will be like a dog or a person walking or an umbrella. Like all the individual pieces have unique shapes to them. Very difficult puzzles to do because I tried to do one and it took me and my mom and my sister like 5 hours to complete one puzzle. And I was like, yeah. So if you find these, they're usually in these really nice dark blue boxes. There's other brands that sell decent, like in the $30 to $40 range. It's really easy to spot them. They have these most of the companies put them in these really dark blue, solid boxes that they come in. Wooden jigsaw puzzles, and they were pretty common in Colorado because they're based out of Boulder, Colorado. So I found them a couple times in the Denver area. So another little bolo.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I am typing in puzzle on my store. I went to a yard sale. I don't think I've shared this yet in the podcast, but maybe I have. I I found it was like 11 o'clock on a Saturday morning. I was my last yard sale of the day, and there was a table full of puzzles, and they were vintage puzzles. We're talking 1930s, 1940s, 1950s.
Oh yeah.
75 cents each. I bought the entire table full of puzzles. I think it came out to like $17. Well, no, it was like more than 20 puzzles. So I don't know what I paid, but I don't like putting puzzles together. So one of my friends does puzzles. So I give them to her. She does them and tells me if any pieces are missing, then takes some pictures of stuff and then puts it back in the box for me. But yeah, I got several of them listed for around $50. So yeah, most puzzles, modern puzzles aren't worth anything. Let me remove that for you. But vintage puzzles, do your comps on your puzzles, especially if there's no UPC symbol on the box. Then you're talking, it's older, thicker pieces, cool pictures, like Native Americans or trains puzzles usually do pretty well. But just like scenery of a mountain, and I feel like there's a sweet spot on the amount of pieces. I did sell a 7,000 piece puzzle once for like $50, 7,000.
Wow.
And it was new sealed. But yeah, I think 500 to 700 pieces maybe is like a sweet spot. And
thank you. I don't want to do that because I don't want to. Yeah. Like you might as well.
Yeah. We do White Mountain, that brand.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I found them. Yeah, I won't touch them if they're used. I'll only look at them if they're new.
Yeah.
Even new, they're only going to sell $15, something like that.
Yeah.
But we can never. I don't know. I can never just get them and sell them. My wife wants to put them together. So I'm like, all right, whatever. We'll do that, and then I can see if I.
Yeah. So they're not going to stay new for long, is what you're saying.
No, and then they're worth like $6.
Yeah,
used. That's about
There's
it.
some of those 3D puzzles, those Rabbit 3D puzzles. Some of those
are cool,
but usually new also on those.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, my painter is finishing up, and I just want to like touch base on them real quick.
Okay, I'll go on without you. So Jimmy, while Dennis is taking care of some matters, you said you got a negative feedback today. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I just got a negative feedback on an international sale, which through the eBay International program, and my understanding is they're not supposed to be able to leave negative feedback. And on top of that, it was on a Taylor Swift CD that I just listed it. I put the year on it. I didn't put any notes about if it was the edited or not edited version. Apparently, they wanted the non-edited version. It doesn't say that either way in my title. It just says the year and the company, the distributor.
Yeah.
So they said, "Oh, I wanted the edited version." Well, I never advertised it either way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just advertised it as is. And so now they left me negative feedback saying they wanted the edited version. Well, message me, reach out. Like I never advertised it either way.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I just checked the listing and it's not advertised either way. So they're basing their feedback on something that they didn't even check into.
Yeah, eBay should stand behind you there. That's why I love international sales. Back to bolos. My bolo isn't really a big secret, but I buy these whenever I see them as long as they're reasonably priced. And that item is metal fans.
Oh yeah.
No matter what size they are, I will ship. If it's 100 pounds or 5 pounds, I'm buying them and I'm shipping them.
Yep.
There's some good money in metal fans, especially there's several groups on Facebook that of collectors. And so I did have a really rare fan once that I sold for like $150, I think is what I sold it for. A 1950s box fan. But this was just a really simple fan. I picked up for $1. I don't know. McGraw Electric. It's a zero fan. So nothing special, but I'm turning $1 into $15 every time. I like selling them. They're fun. And you never know. I don't even look them up. So I didn't know what it was worth, but I was hoping maybe it'd be worth maybe $30 or so. Some of these are worth 30 or more. But I've sold many metal fans over the last few years. This is just one more.
Yep, I've seen a giant. It popped up on my Facebook Marketplace not so long ago, like a giant metal box fan, and I comped it. The one that was on there, it was like $200 some fan, and and the guy had it for $20, but someone beat me to it. It went quick.
That's what I paid for mine. The one I bought, that box fan, was 1954 General Electric. It was pretty rare. I couldn't find hardly any information on it, but paid $20 at an estate sale. I listed it for like 400. No takers. I brought it down to 350, 300, 200. Finally, I'm like, I'll take the first offer that comes along. I'm just ready to move it. So $150 shipped, and the guy was really happy. So metal fans. Let's do some NOLOs, Dennis. You have a NOLO for us, something that you wouldn't buy again?
Yeah, let's put it that way. Not something I won't buy, something I won't buy again because I already bought this stuff, and I don't know why. I honestly don't know why I do this. You know, when you're buying the stuff and let me see, it's cheap. Yeah. So we're talking like modern, used, opened, played with toys. And I'm sorry, Peppa Pig, but you're the one that came up first. Now, of course, exceptions to every single rule. I totally get it, but I'm not doing the single, characters here for $3 and $4. I just can't do it. I would try. Look at this poor sap that listed the family here, all the pigs, and put it on auction. 99 cents.
What was the shipping?
So, I mean, okay. $7.71. That's a little absurd as well. I mean, there are going to be some people like, hey, I'll sell that for $19. I'll do that. Yeah, that's great. But, there are a ton online. There's so many of these listed. Here's a whole lot of figures for $9. One figure for $2. So I don't know that. And then I'm not buying anymore. This is PJ Masks. It's the same type of thing.
There used to be a PJ Masks Bolo though. There were 3 little purple figures that were like starbursts.
They were not with one of the evil people. Is that who these were with?
I don't.
These are just the little. What is that? 2.5 inch figure. They do have a taller 6-inch figure that talks.
Oh, and those ones I'm telling you about are down now. They used to be worth more, but they're not worth a lot.
Okay. So used, opened, played with toys from like, what's another one I can throw into there? Ryan's Toy Review.
Ryan's World.
World, that stuff. It is one, it's flooded, and I think it kind of like has already passed like the popularity.
You're in my category now.
I still do buy toys that are not vintage, like my Fisher Price stuff, but it's stuff that I like, and if it doesn't sell, I get to keep. Like I found these at a Walmart, and I'm having a real hard time finding them again. So, Cad Bane. I mean, I'm just like, well, hopefully that doesn't sell, so I get to keep it. I haven't found it again, and I've looked at a bunch of Walmarts for him. A
lot of the kids that watched Clone Wars really geeked out when they saw him for the first time in like
me. I did
live action.
I did. I freaked out.
Yeah, I mean I did a little bit too.
If you're going to go to a yard sale and you're going to buy a whole bunch of this stuff, save your money, go to Walmart, pay retail for this. Wait till Christmas when everybody wants, a certain figure from the Ahsoka show or the Boba Fett show or whatever. And you let all those people that are buying them in bulk, that's going to go fast. And then if yours sticks around, you could double, triple, quadruple your money, depending on the figure or the toy. I'm not saying anything new that Jimmy doesn't know.
Oh yeah. I have my collections of stuff that I've had some for like 4 years now that have definitely gone up in value.
Cool. I see some Star Wars stuff on to my left, your right, I think. Yeah. That's cool. And if it doesn't sell, you get to look at it and enjoy it.
Collection. Yep.
So that's my NOLO. since Jimmy got to do another bolo, I would love to just throw one out here real quick.
Okay.
And only because I found this yesterday. Let me see if I have it here. Yep.
Jimmy's going to start the 2 bolo trend.
So this was from Sell Trash Get Money.
Yes.
And she said, look up silverware and stuff. So come to find out, I got a whole box of this Japan. I think it's called Matador. And it's got this cool little design on it. I don't know if you can see that. It's like little pinwheels. Look like little fan blades, actually. But I think I have a whole set here. And it was short money. And here they are right here. And I looked them up. I'm like, no way. She said, look up the brand name and see if you can get the design on it. So all I looked up was where it says Matador and then Stainless Japan. That's it. And then these 3 pieces came up. So, I mean, here you go. $25 for a set, $30 for a set. And
Awesome.
Not that I enjoy selling silverware, but I don't enjoy passing over money. Like I don't want to walk by $30 because I'm lazy or I don't know about it. So love this. This is why I love doing shows like this with you guys, because I learn so much in 1 hour. So there you go. That's the bonus one. Don't forget to look up your silverware.
I know Sonia, my wife, she looks at the silverware. I'm not the best at doing it.
Yeah.
No.
Replacements.com is where you go to look that up if you don't know what it is.
Okay. Replacements.com.
You can take a photo of your silverware and it gives you what they think it is, anyhow.
The design. Yeah, they're all very specific designs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, Jimmy, you got a Nolo.
It's along the same lines of the Peppa Pig and it's not quite as modern. And I want to say there's definitely some of these that are worth some money, but it's a Nolo because if you just go out and buy a bag full of them and don't do any research, it's not going to be a great buy for you.
Yeah.
And that's, if you want to share my screen, that's Skylanders.
Oh,
Skylanders can be good, but look at this. I mean, a lot of 11 of them for $15. Another lot of 11 for $12.50. $4.95 for these are the most recent solds. $4.95 for one, $4.99 for another. Now, are there some that are worth some money? I mean, I can go further down. Like this guy sold for $40. But if you're just buying them and not making sure you got good ones, and you're paying like $20 for a box of them, I mean, if you're at $1 a piece, some of them can only sell for $1 a piece in a lot. So, and they're very oversaturated. There's so many of them made, and there's so many of them out there that you have to take the time and look them up. If you just go and buy them and not do any research, it can be a pain in the butt to move them and to get your money back. So it's a Nolo on the fact that if you don't know what you're doing and you're just going to buy them for the heck of it, could be a mistake.
Now, is that based on a video game? Is that where they came?
My youngest son played them a lot when he was like 13. He's now 20. And what they are, they're little figures that you could put on a portal, and that figure would then show up in the game, and you'd be playing as the figure that you put on the portal.
Yeah.
So it was really fun, but man, they made so many of them. I mean, there are so many of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Disney did that too with the, what is that?
What is that one called?
They had Star Wars figures, but they had like the whole Disney universe, and you could buy the figure, put it on the little portal.
I forget what it's called.
I thought it was called Infinity or
Disney Infinity, right? Disney Infinity.
Yeah. Same with those. Some are worth money, some are worth $1.
Yeah. And that's what's hard is like because there's so many of them on the market, and most of them are the ones that don't have a lot of value. And there's a lot of them that were sold out there that don't have a lot of value. So I found a lot with some decent ones in there once or twice, but most of the lots I buy are not great.
Yeah.
And I've moved away from buying them in general.
Right.
Same.
I like to
look them up.
Yeah, I mean, to find out if they're valuable or not, it's almost like you take a picture with your camera and do a Google image search. But
Yeah.
the problem anymore with Google image search is it's going to bring back like the most expensive asking prices on all the different platforms on that page. And it's like, ooh, this thing might be worth like $15, $20. So then I have to take that text, go over to eBay, type it in on eBay, and then you find out there's like 500 for sale, 10 sold in the last 90 days, and they're only selling for like $3 or $5, maybe
Well,
$5.
I don't want to give away a podcast topic that I'm gonna eventually. I just haven't had a chance to on the old reseller leftovers, but I want to have a conversation about the effect Google image search has had on yard sale prices. Because it was bad before when people would look it up on eBay and wouldn't look at sold comps. It's worse now that people are just image searching it, and the first price they see is what they're pricing it at their garage sale. It's made it worse, and I think I can tell that's what the person did. You and I both know. You guys know that we'll use that to find out the name of it, and that's it. Like I use it to find out the name, and then I go to eBay with it, and then I look at the sold comp. But someone at a yard sale that has their phone that they're just imaging everything in the first price they see, it's changed prices. I think that's a big reason why yard sale prices are going up.
It's crazy you said that because I just did that with a bin. You can't see it. A bin of Breyer horses.
Yep.
Okay. No box. No, there's nothing that tells you what the model is or what kind of horse it is or what kind of breed it is. So I'm like, do I really want to get into this? It was free. The bin was free. So I'm like, all right, let's do it. So I bring it home, and I was at the mercy of Google Images. I take a picture. It comes up. Oh, that's cool. That's a mare, Breyer, Appaloosa, blah, blah, blah. It gives me what I want to put in the title. And then I scroll down, and the first one is an eBay listing. And I click on it. It's $30. I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
Yep.
So I copy and paste. I go to make a listing. No, it's a $9 horse. It's $9.
It's so weird that the highest one. Yeah.
Not that one. Every single one I looked up. The first listing was an eBay listing or a I think there was like a group, a Breyer group, and I'm just like, oh, I'm glad I didn't pay for it.
That has something to do. I could go into a rabbit hole of that has something to do with some of the paid eBay promotion. And if you're that person that is the only one showing up on the Google image search and it's $30 and you find someone that doesn't really care and just buys it right away, you just won. Like you just won.
Yep.
But there's all kinds of scenarios that my brain's just like, oh boy.
Yeah. That's another reason why I stopped this a month ago. I haven't talked about it yet in the podcast, but ending and selling similar is because a lot of the stuff I have is rare enough. And there's several reasons, but when I have a rare item and you go out to Google and I type in like the model number, and when I'm doing research, if I decide like if I put it on eBay and like a month later I want to do some research, I might type my model number into eBay or onto Google, and the only information about that item is my eBay listing. So if I'm constantly ending and selling similar, then all that information from Google is no longer out there. And then until Google maybe, I don't know what they go through in eBay and grab information off of it again. Right. So I kind of several times, like people come buy my stuff because they're typing it in on Google, and the only one they can find for sale anywhere is through my store. Cause I have a lot of vintage and rare electronics that I pick up at estate sales and stuff. So, and plus I want to know how long I've had something on eBay now. So that's what kind of why I'm just lowering the prices instead of ending and selling similar.
Gotcha.
So you're not, so let's say you got this, let's say you got a one-off. You're the only one that has this available right now.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the item is. I don't care what it is.
It's not a Skyline.
Are you not no. It's let's say it's worth, for the sake of the argument, it's worth $100. You're the only one that has it. You looked at I don't know, Worth Point or whatever, and that's what it has sold for historically. But for some reason, you're the only one that currently has one of these on there. Are you ending and sell similar for that? And are you promoting that?
I'm promoting everything. Yes, I'm promoting it only because when you promote, if someone searches for a similar model number, oftentimes your item will come up in their search. And until they do a sort by low price, it's still there. So I decided I'm just promoting for a while at 3%, and that my sales did see a big boost since I've been doing that. Plus, because you want your item to show up on other people's similar searches. That's why another good reason to promote. Oftentimes we say,
I got arguments.
Right.
You know, I got the only one. Why would I end and sell similar to this? I don't know. I have a habit of end sell similar daily and promote everything, even if I have the only one. You have to play the game. You got to pay to play. And it's like the same stuff that I list tonight, I will not. Where'd you go?
You might have bad internet.
So the same items that I list tonight, I do not promote right away. I just want to see if someone will buy it overnight.
Right.
And I can get that extra couple of percentages, and then I'll promote them in the morning. But if you don't promote, the views that I'm getting are minimal. You know, even some highly sought after items, 1 or 2 views, and then magically you promote it, and then you're getting 10 to 12 to 15 views like that. Yeah. So I don't know.
Jimmy says his internet just went out.
So, oh no.
Wait.
There he is.
All right, he's back.
My router went blank. I was just looking at it. All the lights went out, but they're back.
Wow.
You can't believe all the stuff we talked about in that 2 minutes.
Yeah. That was eBay telling you not to talk about that, and they just shut you off.
Right. Exactly. Too much information, too much inside information.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I stopped ending the selling similar for that reason, and because I want to know how long my items actually been on eBay. It helps me decide if I'm going to run a sale, because it just helps you know how long. I want to know how long my stuff's been on eBay, and I'd rather just lower my price by 1% every day on anything that's been in my store for more than 30 or 60 days. So in the mornings, I'll go out and just drop the price. I'll sort by what's been on eBay the longest, and then drop the price by 1 or 2% on a daily basis, almost till it sells.
A tool that I recommend using for stuff like that is sort by views in the last 30 days.
Yeah.
And if you have stuff with 0 views, address it somehow, some way. Don't just leave that stuff stale like that. Do something, whether it be end and sell similar, or lower the price, or change the listing, add new pictures, whatever. That's a great tool. You have now that it shows you the views are only the last 30 days right now. You can see and I know when I go check mine, there's always stuff with 0 views.
Yeah.
Well, there's something wrong there. You need to address that listing.
Right. Yeah. That's the first category that it sorts by. And then by default, the second category is how long it's been listed. So that really helps you. If you got 0 views and something's been on there 3 months, those are the ones you want to address first. Either cutting the price or fixing it. All right. My Nolo. Remember a long time ago, we started talking about bolos and nolos?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. My Nolo is old webcams for computers that are probably 5 years old or older. A lot of this stuff before high def came along, and even they called them high def back then, and they were still like 480p. So I think it was just like a buzzword, or a fake, basically lying to you. So I sold this for $3. I don't have many of them, and I would never buy this at a yard sale. But I'm telling everybody, you can comp them, but chances are it's not worth $1 buying at a yard sale. If it's free and a box of stuff and there's something in there, you can get your money back, then maybe. But this was in my store a long time. I have no idea, because it was ended and sold similar a few times. But don't buy the old
offer on that big. You even took an offer on that bad boy, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I talked about that last week. It's like, I'd like to
living dangerously.
Look at this. How much did it actually sell for? I don't know. There's not much I was asking.
I don't know, but the shipping was more than the cost of the item.
Yeah.
That would literally, if that offer would have came in, and I would have just been like, womp womp.
Yeah. That should have that probably was a day away from going to Goodwill, and Jimmy could have bought it in his bins for $1.
I'm not gonna lie, that offer comes in, and I just right then and there just end the listing, and I go find it, and then I'm getting rid of it. I won't even. I won't. I know each to each their own, but I would have definitely been like, nope. You know what? And go to the shelf, trash can.
Yeah.
Well, it's $3. Cost
And
of what?
$1.
Would you just put in a poly mailer?
No, I bubble wrapped it and put it in a bubble envelope. I
All right, so bubble wrap,
Yeah.
packaging
Like
materials,
Yeah.
You get free labels. Some people get free labels.
and the
Yeah.
you know, what are you gonna lose? 12%, 13, whatever.
Well, and then each transaction has a certain amount of change. That what's it at these days on eBay? Like every above the percentage, there's an automatic like 40 cents or something like that comes off of each sale,
So
right?
you probably made $1.30.
Tough one, Chad. That's a tough one.
I'm gonna turn that dollar into $1,000, and I'm gonna do it over.
Yeah, you're not
There
lying.
you
You
go.
can take that dollar and go buy something that's worth 100. So
Yeah,
you're right.
yeah.
My bad. I take it all back.
Yeah. You don't know what I can find for. I can find another metal fan and sell it for $15.
True. A giant speaker system.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jimmy, thanks for joining us today on the podcast. Tell us where people can find you online, because most people probably know you way more than they know us.
I'm on Instagram. Everything's Old School Flips. Instagram, Old School Flips. That's the best way to like contact me. If you want to send me a message on Instagram, I'm doing some TikTok under Old School Flips. I am YouTube Old School Flips, and then I'm also one of 3 hosts on the Reseller Leftovers podcast, the self-diagnosed #1 reselling podcast in the world, folks.
Yeah, we've had Dan comment on our videos before, but never Joe. I'm like, come on, Joe,
now see what you do. I'm gonna have to go there and have a word with Joe.
Yeah, right.
Joe's a busy man, though. Make no mistake about it. He's a very busy individual.
Yeah.
So cut him a little bit of slack, just a little.
All right.
I've invited him up to Lancaster to do some yard sailing before, and he had sports going on with his kids that morning. But
he's got. It's not even joking at all. Like, he's probably the busiest person I know.
Jimmy, maybe I'll see you next year at the Route 127 yard sales.
We will discuss it.
Thanks for the knowledge, Jimmy.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you.
Moving on to home runs and strikeouts, your best and your worst sales of the week. What do you got, Dennis?
Well, this week I am going to show you something I found at a church sale. I love church sales. And we were the first ones in line. We were there 10 minutes before it opened. And I beeline it right to that area where they normally put like all of the electronics and video games and that type of stuff. I did get video games, but my wife was with me and she looks over and points, and they had a whole bunch of Blink branded. I think this is not run by Google. One of those businesses runs it, but these are all like security cameras. And is it Alexa that runs these? I'm not sure.
I don't know who's Blink.
One of them owns it. Nest is Google, so this is not Nest or a Google operated one. But anyway, there was a bunch of this stuff brand new, sealed in the box, and had a $5 sticker on each one. I didn't even look it up. I just grabbed all of it, threw it in my bag, and moved on. And I sold, was it the 4? It was one of these. Blink. It was outdoor camera pack.
Okay.
$179 plus shipping. And then I found another one, which was a single. Where is that guy? Just like this right here. This add-on, $45 for that. And I also have one more. It's an indoor one that has not sold yet. It's not this one. Mini 2. It's indoor only. Any case, absolute home run for the amount of money I spent, $15. I sold a video game that I found there and made $15. So all of this is free. I found vintage mugs, vintage Garfield mug from 1978, sold for $25. So yeah, this was awesome. What an awesome little stop. This was just in my normal sourcing day on a Saturday. I saw that they're having a church thrift or a church bazaar, whatever you want to call it, rummage sale. Mm-hmm. Don't ever miss one of these. I'm telling you, some of the best items, some of the best prices you're going to get. And I did not strike out. This was an absolute grand slam for me. made a killing. So
Did you
my
say they were new in the
strikeout,
box? Were they new in the box?
brand new sealed,
Okay.
brand new sealed in the box. Like someone just donated them all. And I have no idea. I saw the name and I'm like, these are brand new. Just throw them right in the bag. Like don't even waste the minute to look stuff up when you know this is worth more than $5.
Mhm.
And so ran around this, with the extra time I had, because I'm not standing there looking stuff up, and found other things. Some vintage Barbies too, like great stuff. My strikeout, which I'm really not psyched about, is I sold a Bose. It was free. It was tested. I liked it because it had the remote, the manual, the unit, and all the wires with it. It's an older unit called an AV20, AV20, and it's sold. It was free, sold for $110 plus shipping. It gets there, bam, guys, like, doesn't work. I'm like, I know it works. I know it works. And I said, is the box damage? You know how you go through that whole thing?
Yeah.
Any damage to the box? And he's like, nope, I tried it. I hooked it up, tried this, and this. He goes, will not work. So I'm not going to eat this. You know what I'm saying? Like, do I really, I don't really want to. Yes. So I'll sell it for parts. The remote control alone is like $18.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I just don't want to give it away and refund him, even though it was free. I still think I can recoup some money and make some money. So strikeout, yeah. Strikeout to end the game, no. This was not one of those.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get it back. He's already shipped it back. Oh, that's the other thing. You can always roll the dice and see if the guy actually does return it.
Right. Yeah.
So
or he was fishing.
Or he was fishing for partial.
Mhm.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I called this bluff, but I'm like, no, you can return it, and then I'll give you your money back when I get it. So that's the only strikeout. Really had a solid week. So knock on wood, that was the worst part of the week. Not going to ruin my week, but that's it. So what do you got?
Well, I had a few home runs this week. I'm back on track from vacation, but first one is I finally sold my Yeti cooler and got paid. Someone offered me $275. I took it, and they never paid. I listed it again on eBay for $350, and someone offered me $300, and they paid. So I made $25 extra by the first guy not paying.
Awesome.
That happens quite often. So I'm happy the thing was a beast to ship. That was a big box. I had to kind of make the box. So that's one home run this week. Another home run was this eMachines computer, keyboard, monitor, and computer with Windows 7 on it. It was pretty clean. I sold that for like $120, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Windows 7, but I mean, I'm showing it running here in the pictures, and everything was matching. The keyboard matched. Not a ton of money, but I like computers. I was half tempted to keep it myself, but I don't want to become a hoarder of computers, which I have a lot. So probably the most interesting home run I had. See this box? I was at a yard sale or an estate sale, and 3 of these boxes were sitting in a little wicker basket on a table, and they said RCA on them. I grabbed it. Didn't even know what they were, but this was there was an estate sale, and in the estate sale, it was an online estate sale at auction, and then this was like leftover stuff at their garage sale, getting rid of everything else. They sold one of those CED movie. You know what those are? CED movies. It's like Laserdisc movies, but they're in a plastic case. So you put the case
like a blue
in,
case,
and then you pull the case back out again, and the Laserdisc stays inside the unit. I had one of these growing up. We would go rent these movies at the video store all the time. My dad. It's kind of like when VHS came out. This was the exact digital competition to a VHS tape, was the CEDs. So a CD player and about 30 movies sold in the estate sale, and they sold. I think it sold for $60. I was bidding up to $50 on it because I wanted the player, but these were in the yard sale, and I probably have $1 in each one of them. And when I got them home, then I looked it up to see what they were. they were the needles, the laser diamond tip needles to read the disc.
Yeah.
One of the boxes was empty. I had, but this one sold for $175.
Wow.
And I have one more that's currently listed on in my store for $199, but it sold in 1 week, in the first week, for $175. I had no idea that it was worth the money. Let me show you what it looks like. It's a tiny box. This is like a record player needle. That's how small it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess the needles in these things went bad. And it's supposed to be diamond tipped, I guess. I don't know if the diamond's worth anything.
Wild.
So people need these for parts to fix them, and they obviously don't make them anymore. And so 2 of them were new in the box. I got like $1 in each one, and I should if I make 175 on each one, that's $2 in the 350. So that was probably my best home run as far as like profit wise. But something else is cool that I sold. This is the fireplace insert.
Oh, nice.
I sold this. You put it in I think you put it in the gas fireplace, and you can put your fake logs on it. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe real logs.
That's for a real one.
Yeah, real. Yeah. I've had some fake ones before, but sold that for $128. Shipped that out today, actually. And it still had the box. I would say it's 1950s or 60s. I paid $5 for this.
Oh, wow.
So 5 into 128. Yeah. So those are my big home runs this week. Kind of interesting things. One of the strikeouts I had, this Toshiba DVD recorder VHS combo.
Yeah.
No. Yes, this sold for, it's not worth a whole lot. Sold for $40. I went to my warehouse in the spot where it was stored. It wasn't there. I'm like, I don't have any idea what happened to it. I went through my entire warehouse twice and all the different places electronics were stored. This is nowhere to be found. So I had to give him his money back. So that's why I would call it a strikeout. Yeah, it had issues. The VCR had some issues, but I hate that I couldn't find it. You ever lost an item before? Never found it yet. And it shouldn't be hard. Like, look at that remote control. Like,
oh, I know. It's big. I've lost, believe it or not, I've lost one piece of media before. That's it. I went through all of this 18 times. just can't find it.
Oh, such a waste of time.
I'm like, I don't know.
Do you store them alphabetical or what do you do?
I try to do genre. So classical, rock, opera, rap, all the way down. Sometimes, one gets, misplaced, and then you're spending another 15 minutes trying to find it.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I've not found something before, looking everywhere for it. I'm just like, it's not in the store again. Then you're thinking, where did it go? Did I sell it and not remember? Did I?
That's what it had to have happened, right?
Was it double posted or double listed? I don't know, but it's embarrassing.
Mm-hmm. All right. Finally, let's do customer service before we wrap this up. We're going kind of long here today. Do you have any customer service interactions from this week?
Nothing specific. Just that I've noticed a lot of requests for doing combined shipping. So I don't know what the uptick was this past week, but they're like, I want to buy this, this, and this. Can you combine ship? Sure. And this, I think it was like 3 or 4 buyers. A lot of media. So they would buy specific, CDs in the same genre, and they wanted to buy a bunch, and they wanted combined shipping. My Poshmark, same thing. They were like, not combined shipping, but they were making what they call a bundle there. So they'll pull multiple things from your store, and then they want a deal on that. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, sure, absolutely. You want to buy multiple things from my store? I will do whatever I can to make that happen. I need the room, and I love selling more than one item to the same buyer. So that's all.
On eBay, what are you doing then? Are you making a combined listing, or are you just reimbursing them shipping?
I'll either say, if you are able to, one, are you an international buyer? Because if you are, I can't help you. They make you buy everything individually.
Mhm.
I said, if you're a domestic buyer and they're not forcing you to pay right away, I don't require immediate payment.
Mhm.
So if you want to buy it, I will send you an updated invoice with the
Mhm.
combined shipping, and then you can pay that invoice.
That's
Sometimes
what
they're
I
like,
do
look,
also.
it won't allow me to do that. It's making me
Mhm.
pay. Okay. Buy each thing and then I can reimburse you. I'll do the measurements and the weight, and then I can reimburse you the rest. So it's
Yeah.
either one or two of those options.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't require immediate payment either for that very fact. If somebody buys two things, then I got to do a refund, and I'd rather just send them an invoice that's got the correct shipping on it to begin with. All right. Well, my customer service was a couple of personal interactions with customers. A guy, I had a television for sale, local pickup only. This TV here, it's an old CRT, 19-inch. Wait, it wasn't that heavy actually, but it has the glass screen, you know, and everything, and so and it's got the inputs there for video games on the bottom. If you can, I don't know, right there.
Yep.
You can see those. The guy's like, I'm from the Pittsburgh area. Would you be willing to ship this? And I said, I'm going to Ohio tomorrow. How far off of the interstate do you live? And he's like, there's a place we can meet like 5 minutes away from where you're driving. I said, okay. So I loaded up he bought it, local pickup only, and I hand delivered it to him at an outlet mall just off of the interstate. So that was kind of fun. Yeah, I love it when I can do that kind of stuff. And then I sold this Pioneer Blu-ray player, and I guess it's a very high quality one. I bought it from my neighbor Tim for like $5. Sold it for $50 plus shipping. And the guy only lived like 45 minutes away. And he's like, hey, can I just drive to your house and pick it up? I'm like, all right, come on. So when he got here, he was super nice, super happy. And I'm like, hey, let me reimburse you the shipping. He's like, no, that's fine. You can keep shipping. He's like, I'll be checking out your store and I'll probably buy some stuff from you again at some point too. Because he was really happy. Yeah, he had this, and I either it broke or he sold it, and then he has always regretted it. And so when he found it close to his house, he's like, I'm gonna go pick it up, so make sure it doesn't get damaged in shipping. Well, that brings us to another great episode of this podcast, Dennis.
Absolutely. That was fun. Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jimmy was great.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Jimmy. Stop by again sometime. Don't be a stranger. Do you have any closing thoughts today to leave us with?
I'm just happy to be back and talking shop with resellers and learning stuff. I mean, we got an hour and 15 minutes, and I've learned some bolos, I've learned some nolos, I've learned some secrets of eBay, and it just amazes me what networking and sharing ideas can do for you. And if you're out there and you're a reseller and you're not trying to get together with other resellers, you're doing yourself a disservice. There's so much information out there, and there's so many items out there. It's not like we're in super competition with each other. It's really not like that at all. There's tons of buyers and there's tons of items. So don't be afraid to tell people what you do, and don't be afraid to get together. Like Chad was saying, he just called those guys out of the blue and said, hey, let's get together. And they're having breakfast, or what was it? Brunch?
Late lunch. Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I couldn't believe they showed up. I thought I was going to get stiff, because who am I? Yeah. They didn't know me. They never saw a picture of me or anything.
Right. But that just goes to show it's just such an awesome community of people that love what we do and want to share information. And sometimes it's, I don't want to share all my stuff. You're really not. I mean, there's nothing that I can't find out on YouTube or Google or, so much free information. Don't be afraid to share info. Don't give away all your secrets. You can keep some in your back pocket, but the general stuff that we go over, the ins and outs of eBay, can be found in a ton of places. I just like is there a faster way of doing it? Is there an easier, cheaper way of doing what we do? Share thoughts, share ideas, go out there and meet people, get together, go to a group like that, go to that giant yard sale, which is now on my bucket list. I got to get out there. I have to check that out. That sounds amazing. And it's once a year, right?
Next week, I'm in Maine. I'm not sure if we're going to have a podcast come out next week or not. I've talked to Dennis. Maybe we could get a fill-in host to replace me. We're not really sure. We're working on some stuff, but if not, we'll see you in a couple weeks. So thanks everyone. We'll see you later.
Guys.